Dumb boy. Very dumb boy. No thought. Head empty. A silly boy. But can he be the strongest Pokemon of all time, capable of taking down the Paldea region? That's what we're here to find out. My name is Ethan, this is Hardcap Games, and this is the Fuecoco solo run. When we start a run like this, we need to establish some rules. First, this is not a Nuzlocke in any way. The only rule is that we can only use Fuecoco at all times in battle. Second, we will likely lose many times, but the only thing we care about is beating this game. This will involve a lot of over-leveling, re-challenging, item use, and perhaps a little scamming, especially later on in the game. So, can Fuecoco beat Pokemon Scarlet all by himself? Let's find out. If you enjoy, leave a like down below, subscribe if you are new, and tell me what challenges you want to see me attempt in the future. We start off our challenge by heading downstairs, meeting with Professor Clavel, and are introduced to 3 starter Pokemon. We only care about one of them though. When we reach the end of the road at Nemona's house, we choose our little dude, name him aptly, and beat Nemona in a battle because she's dumb and chose the one that is weak to us. Silly Nemona. Right away, I recognize a problem. In order for Fuecoco to be the perfect specimen in every way, we have to grind in accordance with the proper EVs and nature. Fuecoco's learn set isn't too terrible, but we need to ensure that Fuecoco is a mixed attacker at least for now. His special attack is naturally much higher than his attack, and his speed is already pretty poor, so we want Fuecoco to be a brave nature, which will boost his attack and lower the already pretty low speed. I didn't feel like going through this 4-minute cutscene every time, so I decided the one that we got was good enough for the time being until we can get the Brave Mint. If I put 252 EVs into both attack and special attack, I can optimize this little gentleman. To speed this process up, I need 2 items, the Power Brace and the Power Lens. Regardless of who you grind against, if your Pokemon is holding these items, you gain 8 EVs in attack and special attack respectively, on top of whatever other EVs you gain from defeating your opponent. If we optimize this, we can max out our stats pretty quickly. The problem is my EVs are already going to be a little bit off because there are 7 Pokemon I'm required to defeat before I can really begin this challenge, and only one of them gives us an EV that we want. These Pokemon are Nemona's Sprigatito, the Route 1 capture tutorial Lechonk, Arven's Squovet, Nemona's Sprigatito and Palmy, and the Team Star Shroodle and Yungoos, with Yungoos being the only one that gives us 1 attack EV. We gain EVs from each one of these, but we will have to use some EV reducing berries later so that we can truly optimize our stats, but for now, we want to get ourselves as close as possible. So, we give Koraidon our lunch, get saved by Houndoom, beat up Arven, receive Koraidon's Pokeball, head north to the Mesa Goza Lake, beat Nemona again, save Penny from Team Star Grunts, meet all of our low poly classmates, and are introduced to all 3 stories, and now we are finally set to play our game. That's 2 hours of gameplay in 17 seconds. Now that we have free will, the first thing I do is head to Delibird Presents and buy the Power Bracer. This takes almost all of my money to do, and I realize I'm going to be pretty short for funds to buy the Power Lens, since I can't grind for money against trainers. Lucky for us, there's a second way to purchase things in this game. League Points. League Points can be earned by interacting with Terra Dens. Similar to the Dynamax Raid Dens in Sword and Shield, these points that you earn can be used for purchasing special items. However, in Scarlet and Violet, they function as an additional form of currency on a 1-to-1 conversion rate. I start grinding my attack EVs in the area east of Los Platos, since Fuecoco can gain 9 attack EVs at a time from defeating either Yungoos, Choodle, Mankey, Shinx, or Nimble. As I continue further east, I encounter another Pokemon that I totally forgot about, Flamigo. Flamigo gives not 1, but 2 attack EVs, meaning our process speeds up just a little bit. Now I can gain 10 EVs from every Flamigo I defeat. I spend some time grinding out attack EVs while gathering the just under 10,000 League Points that I need to purchase a Power Lens when... There's actually no way. There's actually no way. That just happened. Why do I have a feeling this is gonna happen? I'm just trying to train, dude. Alright. Sure, yeah. Shiny Wooper. That's right. A shiny Wooper. What's funny about this Wooper is that it's technically the 3rd shiny Wooper I've seen in Pokemon Scarlet since I have 2 on my main account. but I decide to catch it because, shiny claws. We finish our attack EVs, go back to Mesagoza to buy our power lens, and then head across town to use the last bits of money to purchase a chocolate churro from Smoochurro, which gives us encounter power psychic level 1. We head back to Los Platos and quickly grind out 28 Ralts to max out our special attack. I then realized I didn't actually max out my attack, but I can't gain any more EVs, so I'll have to fix that later. Now, it's time to play. I head west to Cortando, where Katie and her bug-type gym will prove to be the first challenge for our brave warrior. After playing really big rugby, we head in for our first battle with the gym leader, Katie. Katie specializes in bug-type Pokemon, so with my fire-type moves, I shouldn't have too much trouble. First on the field for Katie is her Nimble. Nimble goes for a double kick which does 8 damage, and I return with Incinerate, knocking it out. Second is her Tarantula. I click Incinerate again, moving first this time and knocking this one out too. Her final Pokemon is Teddiursa, which terastallizes into the bug type. At the same time, I terastallize Fuecoco to get the bonus stab boost on my fire moves. It goes for Fury Swipes, but only hits twice for 12 damage, as Fuecoco goes for Incinerate a third time, easily knocking out Teddiursa and claiming us our first gym badge. From here, I make a quick detour to grab one of the most important TMs that we will collect in this run. Dig. This 80 base power ground type move is one of the 2 moves that Fuecoco learns, the other being Stomping Tantrum. I pick it up and immediately teach it to Fuecoco for that little bit of coverage, even though it will not be too useful right now. We make our way to Arda Zone, Nemona admits to stalking us, and we play the laggiest game of hide and seek ever with a bunch of Sunflora before we can finally take on the grass type gym leader Brassius. Now, since we're a fire type and Brassius uses grass types, this should be a fairly easy battle. Brassius opens with Petalil, a Pokemon I legitimately forgot was in this game until I fought him right now. I decided to be a little more bold this time around and terastallize right away and go for Incinerate, knocking out Petalil in one shot. Next is Smoliv, who receives the same treatment of 1 Incinerate to its Olivy head. Finally, Brassius sends out his Sudowoodo, which terastallizes into the grass type, vindicating all of us who have messed it up over the years. Sudowoodo uses Trailblaze for 9 points of damage, and I send back an Incinerate that just doesn't do enough damage. No matter, I'll just finish it off on the next... Oh. Well, I quickly raise Fuecoco's level up so that doesn't happen again. The first 2 go down like before, and now all we have to do is... You gotta be kidding me. I definitely did not forget about Sturdy. Nope, did not happen. Sudowoodo goes for Trailblaze, raising its speed. On its second turn, it goes for Rock Throw again, but Fuecoco dodges it with ease and grabs us our second gym badge. As we leave Arda Zone, we begin to head in the direction of Levincia when we are stopped by Cassiopeia, who tells us about the Fire-type Team Star base led by Mela. Unfortunately for Cassiopeia, we don't care about that right now, as we can leap off the side of this cliff and continue to our real destination, the Thunderfang TM. Once we collect this, we're able to head back across the map to the first Titan we will be taking on, the Open Sky Titan Bombardier. I wish I could say that this battle went well, but I lose pretty quickly. I level up a little bit more before taking it on again, but I also learn Flamethrower via level up. When we run it back against the bird, we take it out much easier this time around. Through the power of Cilantro, Koraidon gains the ability to swim. At this point, it's time for us to get the other most important move that Fuecoco will learn in the early game, Seed Bomb. Seed Bomb is an 80 base power physical grass type move, the best water type coverage it gets, and the only coverage it gets against ground and rock type Pokemon. So in order for us to take down many of our opponents throughout the rest of the game, we will need this move. From the Open Sky Titan, we can head north through the desert past Puerto Marinada, and with our new ability to swim, can go collect Seed Bomb from the Zokarat Trail and teach it right away. I had previously taught Thunderfang to Fuecoco, but he actually doesn't need this move anymore since Seed Bomb is just better. At this point, I decide I should grind out some of the early stage bases and Titans, so we head over to Cloth on the east side of Paldea. With our newly learned Seed Bomb, we have no problem taking it down. Arvin introduces us to his Sick Dog, as Koraidon gains the ability to sprint faster, something I guess it wasn't able to do. Next, I head off towards Giacomo and his Dark-type Team Starbase, and we encounter a major roadblock. We need 3 Pokemon to take on Team Star, and since we can only use Fuecoco, that means this run is a loss. Well, I guess as long as I never see the field in battle, it doesn't matter, right? I mean, sure, our decks will be messed up, but we already caught a Wooper, and as long as Fuecoco is the only Pokemon to physically battle, I guess it could count. So I head back to Route 1 and catch the first Pokemon I can find, a Ralts. Pick up our shiny Wooper from the box, head out to Giacomo with 2 massively underleveled Pokemon and a god amongst men. As we go through the Team Star base, Ralts and Wooper instantly die, which is great because it's exactly what I wanted and it means they did nothing of value for us and Fuecoco did everything. Nice. Giacomo opens up his battle with a Poniard and I instantly terastallize. Boosting my fire type moves more is the most important thing in this battle. Poniard opens with Aerial Ace for about 12 damage and we respond with Flamethrower, which picks up the kill with ease. Then it's time for the Starmobile. Even though I have Disarming Voice, which is super effective, Flamethrower technically does more damage just based on its strength and stab. It starts with Snarl, which also does 12 damage and lowers my special attack. Not good. Especially when I see that Flamethrower only does 1/3 of its health. We trade this interaction again, I knock him to another third, and me just under half. He goes for Wicked Torch, which does 16 damage, but unfortunately for him, Flamethrower still does enough to kill, securing us a victory. After watching an obnoxiously long cutscene, we grind up for a bit before heading off to Mela's Fire-type base, and complete the same thing, but again. With Fuecoco and 2 castaways in the party, we cruise through the base and take on Mela pretty quickly. Mela opens up with her Torkoal, setting the sun with Drought. We start by going for Dig, which does about 50%, and her Flame Wheel connects for about 15 damage. Fuecoco uses Dig again, connecting for another 49%, leaving Torkoal with just a sliver of health. Flame Wheel hits for another 16 damage, and we finish it off with Disarming Voice. Next is the Starmobile. The Starmobile is faster than Fuecoco and goes for Overheat, but luckily misses. We go for Dig again, which hits for about 20% damage. The Starmobile then uses Screech, but since it's faster than us, it connects, dropping our defense. Revavroom then uses Blazing Torque and misses as Dig does more than 30% damage, which seems like a really random damage spread from Dig 1 to Dig 2. This car isn't too bright as it now goes for another Screech instead of just attacking while we use Dig again, then forcing another Blazing Torque miss before Dig connects a third time, knocking it very low. Revavroom finally wises up and uses Blazing Torque for 32 damage, but one more Dig secures our victory over Mela. I decide that I want to take on Iono next, so I head down to Levincia where Nemona corners us and challenges us to a battle that we physically cannot refuse. Nemona opens with Rockruff, but Seed Bomb connects for the kill. Pommy comes out next, and I go for Dig, dodging Pommy's Nuzzle and connecting for an Oko. Finally, Nemona sends out Florigato, who terrestrializes into a grass type and wastes its one chance at a win by going for Home Claws as we use Flamethrower to pick up a win. We then head back to the gym to take on the third gym leader, Iono. We play the world's lamest Where's Waldo game and head out to the battlefield where Iono awaits us. Iono opens the battle with Wattrel, the electric and flying type. My only hope here is to hit harder with Flamethrower. Wattrel gets a crit pluck for 15 damage, and Flamethrower picks up the first kill of the battle. Next up is Bellybolt, who survives my Flamethrower on a sliver of health, but does get burned and fires back with a water gun for 32 damage. Burn picks up the kill, bringing in Luxio, who will drop my attack with Intimidate. I decide to just terrestrialize and go for Flamethrower, but Luxio moves first and uses Spark for 18 damage and a free paralysis. Flamethrower does kill, bringing out Mismagius. I decide to go for Flamethrower and see what happens, since I'm pretty over leveled compared to Iono's team. Unfortunately, Mismagius outspeeds and goes for Hex, knocking out Fuecoco. In my second attempt, I decide to terrestrialize on turn 1 so that I can outpower Bellybolt. Wattrel goes for Spark on the first turn and gets a paralysis, and we are fully paralyzed on that turn. Wattrel goes for Spark again, and Flamethrower picks up the kill. Bellybolt comes out and uses Water Gun since it's now faster than me. I decide to go for Dig instead, dodging the next Water Gun, but I'm fully paralyzed while Underground canceling the Dig. It uses Water Gun again, and we are fully paralyzed for a third time. I decide to do something that I haven't had to do yet, use a healing item. They aren't banned in my challenge, but I wanted to see how far I could get without needing them. I use a full restore that I collected somewhere along the way, tank a Water Gun, use Flamethrower, and I pick up the kill. Luxio comes out and uses Spark, and we respond with another Flamethrower. Finally, Mismagius comes out, terrestrializes, and uses Confuse Ray. Subscribe hits himself in confusion, Mismagius uses Hex, and Subscribe finally attacks with Flamethrower, grabbing us the kill and our third gym badge. I'm feeling pretty confident, but there is a lot of game to go still. From Levincia, we head northwest to the Steel Titan, Orthworm, who's just honestly a pathetic battle. Arvin makes us a sandwich, which grants us the ability to jump higher. After making my way to Zapapico, I turn north and head up towards the Tag Tree Thicket, where Atticus and the third Team Star base await. Instantly, I recognize a problem. The Pokemon that he uses here are actually pretty good and have a lot of decent coverage moves, meaning this battle is not going to be easy, and I'm going to have to rely on a ton of luck with high rolls to beat it at anywhere close to my current level. But I decide to try it anyways. Atticus opens up with his Skuntank. Atticus connects with a Toxic as I click Dig, but luckily I gave Fuecoco a Pecha Berry which cures it the one time. Fuecoco goes for Dig, dodging Skuntank's Sucker Punch, and lands for about 60%. Unfortunately, Skuntank uses Toxic again as we go for another Dig. Skuntank misses its Venoshock as Dig picks up the kill. Next up is Revavroom, but not the Starmobile. Revavroom uses Bulldoze for a ton of damage as we go for Dig again. Atticus misses Sludge, Dig connects for 95%, and our Poison takes us out. I run around and get Subscribe Smiley Face up to level 50 before coming back to Atticus for round 2. It opens up the same way as last time with the Toxic, but Pecha Berry activates, but this time we go for Flamethrower, picking up the kill. Next up is Revavroom, and I terrestrialize. Revavroom goes for Bulldoze while we return with another Flamethrower, picking up another kill. Atticus then brings out Muck. I decide to Super Potion myself back up to full to see what it wants to do. It uses Sludge Wave and grabs a Poison, nullifying my last turn. I use a full restore to cure the poisoning as it goes for Sludge Wave again. I decide to finally be active and use Flamethrower after tanking another Sludge Wave. Finally, the Starmobile comes out. I use a Hyper Potion to get back to full as it goes for Noxious Torque. It uses Noxious Torque again as I go for Dig, but it gets the poison. I dodge another Noxious Torque and hit it with Dig for about 20%. I use another Hyper Potion and take another hit. It uses Noxious Torque while I use Flamethrower, doing so much more damage. I use a Max Potion to survive this turn as it uses another Noxious Torque, and it uses it again when I go for Flamethrower, securing the win over our third Team Star leader. I do want to point out that I got extremely lucky on this one. I did the calculations before, and I had to get a very high roll on Skuntank with Flamethrower, and I had to get an absolute max roll to take out Muck. That move could do at most 100.4%. I decide next I want to take on the biggest roadblock in the entire challenge. Kofu. The Water-type gym leader has some heavy hitters that I'm not entirely certain I can defeat. We head down to Porto Marinado to catch up with him, and after winning an auction for some seaweed, Kofu accepts our challenge for a gym battle. Kofu leads with his Veluza, which goes for a pluck and immediately dies to Seed Bomb. Wugtrio comes out next and goes for Water Pulse, dying to another Seed Bomb. Finally, Crabominable comes out and Terrasilize it into the Water type. I use Seed Bomb, which does 80%, and it fires back with Oh. Let's try again. Veluza, Wugtrio, I'm not even gonna bother. I run the calcs and find out that at this current level, there is no move that I can learn that will kill Crabominable. And Crabhammer does 97% on a max roll, so there's really no shot. There doesn't seem to be anything I can do to beat Kofu at this time, so I decide to take on the Montenevera gym and its leader Rhyme. Once again, we are faced with an issue. I can only use Fuecoco, but this gym is a required double battle. So there's only one thing I can really do. Wooper knows the move Tackle, which does no damage to Rhyme's Ghost-type Pokemon. When I enter the battle with Rhyme, Wooper is only allowed to use non-damaging moves like Tackle, so it does not inflict any damage onto Rhyme's Pokemon. My first battle against Rhyme goes very poorly, with me just trying to use Snarl and it not doing any damage before I eventually lose to Toxtricity. However, my second go, I have a new plan. I decide to Terrasilize on turn 1 and start going for Stab Flamethrowers just to power through the team. Wooper dies on the first turn as planned, and Banette goes for a Shadow Sneak on me for low amounts of damage. I come back with a Flamethrower that kills instantly, giving me attack and special attack boost from the crowd. Houndstone comes out next. I take a slash from Mimikyu, but since I outspeed Houndstone, I can hit it with a Flamethrower for max damage. Then Rhyme brings out her Toxtricity, which will Terrasilize into a Ghost type. However, not even the Geddy-Lia Pokemon can resist a Flamethrower from God's chosen creature. After I take a slash from Mimikyu and kill Toxtricity, I'm now free to turn my attention to Mimikyu. After 2 Flamethrowers, one that breaks his disguise and one that kills, I can claim my victory. With Rhyme defeated, I've officially beaten half the gyms, more than half of the trials, and more than half of the Titans. Not bad for a crocodile with 1 brain cell. Now that I'm a little bit of a higher level, I decide to give Kofu another shot. This time I outspeed Veluza for a first turn KO, but I don't outspeed Wugtrio, which does get the confusion off of Water Pulse. I hit myself in confusion, take another Water Pulse, and do pick up the kill, but it doesn't matter. If Crabominable can go down in 1 turn to Seed Bomb, I can take the victory. Fuecoco does snap out of confusion, hits the Seed Bomb, and just misses on the damage. Instant reset. Attempt 4 relies on me not getting confused. Veluza goes down to another Seed Bomb, Wugtrio hits the Water Pulse but doesn't get the confusion, and out comes Crabominable and... Oh, was I just getting min rolls before? Maybe. Am I mad that this one went so easy compared to the last 3 attempts? No. Thank God we're out of here. Now this is a bold statement, but I believe the hardest paths of the game are now over until we reach the 3 rivals and the Elite 4. With our Cascarappa gym badge in hand, we meet up with Nemona, who wants to battle, again, and this time Jita's watching. She opens up with her Lycan Rock, which uses Accelerock for pretty decent damage before it dies to Seed Bomb. Her next Pokemon is Goomy, who absolutely tanks the Flamethrower before dishing out a Dragon Pulse. Another Flamethrower is a critical hit, finishing her off. Her Palmy is evolved into a Palmo and goes for Spark, grabbing the Paralysis. Fuecoco goes for Dig, which connects for the kill, and out comes her final Pokemon Masquerada. Apparently Nemona is allergic to using Stab moves, as she Terrasilizes into a Grass type and hits us with Slash instead of the Stab move Flower trick. We hit it back with a Flamethrower for the kill and victory. With that out of the way, let's go to our 4th Titan, the Great Tusk. This one's pretty tricky due to its typing, but I think we should be all... Well, never mind. Let's just go beat up Larry instead. I'm starting to feel a little impatient with this challenge, and I don't feel like actually doing Larry's challenge, so through the power of Google, I become Gordon Ramsay and ace the lunch order on the first try. Larry opens up with Kamala, and we Terrasilize on the first turn again. Kamala hits me with Slam, and we open with Flamethrower, grabbing a kill. The Dunsparce comes out next, and Flamethrower takes care of it in 1 shot. Finally, Larry sends out his Staraptor, which even after Terrasalizing and using Facade will go down to, you guessed it, Flamethrower. Until someone stops me from doing it, it's a good strategy, and I'm going to keep doing it. Once I beat Larry, I come to a conclusion. In order to power through the rest of this game, my Fuecoco needs to be a unit of perfection. I run some calculations and determine what I need for the rest of the game. I scale to the top of Glaciato Mountain, but I'm stopped by Nemona again, who wants to battle again. Like seriously, we just did this 20 minutes ago. Nemona starts with her Lycan Rock again, which starts with Sand Attack. We return with Seed Bomb, which doesn't quite do enough to kill. It then hits me with Rock Slide and gets the flinch, and then hits me another time for a crit. That's right, I lost to Nemona. But you know what's more interesting? The fact that the result of these battles do not matter at all in the endgame. You're not required to beat her here. If I had known that, I would have just been losing these battles on purpose all the way up until now. I then head back to Mesa Goza and take a quick stop at Delibird Presents to buy 6 bottle caps. Since I now have 6 gym badges, I'm able to use hyper training to raise all my IVs to the highest level possible. It does cost me a small fortune to do so, but I'm able to raise my stats from pretty mediocre to perfection. Coupled with the Brave Mint, my stats become pretty close to each other. Mixed attacker Fuecoco is here. This peak organism and I head back to Great Tusk to show him what's up, and sure enough, it goes pretty well this time around, allowing us to claim our ability to fly. With this in hand, we only have 1 Titan, 2 gyms, and 2 bases left. I decided I want to just finish out the gyms first, so we go take the trip to Alfrenada. In Alfrenada, we do the worst challenge in Pokemon. It's just really, really poorly done. Simon says this worthless activity takes too far. You go for 10 minutes. It just makes me want to... Sorry about that. Anyways, we clear this challenge, not without some issue, and we reach the battle with Tulip. I quickly realize I'm massively underrated for our little boy to win this. Namely, I'm not faster than Farigiraf, Gardevoir, or Espathra, so there's really nothing I can do before it starts racking up damage. A little irritated, I head out to Ortega's trial. I've actually already triggered the cutscene and battled Mr. Harrington a couple hours ago, completely by accident, but I'm now free to head further down the trail and grind up some levels on some poor eggs for about 20 minutes to raise me to level 71, 5 levels in all. I then head back to Tulip for our rematch. This time it's going to be different. I Terastallize turn 1 and use Flamethrower, now outspeeding Farigiraf. Gardevoir comes out and uses Psychic, doing 40 damage, but it too falls to Flamethrower. Espathra uses Psychic for another 40 damage, and also goes down to Flamethrower now. Finally, Tulip sends out Florges and Terastallizes it into the Psychic type, and uses Psychic for 50 damage, but she too falls to the power of the Flamethrower. After we finish battling Tulip, I can quickly fly straight to the top of Glaciato and take on Grusha. We compete in some downhill slalom, crush it might I add, and go take on the final gym leader of Scarlet and Violet. Grusha starts with a Frostmoth. I Terastallize once again on the first turn, Frostmoth goes for Tailwind, and Flamethrower knocks out the Ice and Bug type. Beartick is next, but because of the Tailwind, he gets to go first, using Earthquake for a little bit under 50% damage. Luckily, Flamethrower does take out the bear. Grusha's third Pokemon's the Titan uses Liquidation to knock me to 28 health, but he too falls to Flamethrower. Finally, Grusha brings out Altaria and Terastallizes it. I use a Hyper Potion as it goes for Hurricane. Unfortunately for Grusha, this Terastallization was a terrible idea, since it's now weak to my strongest move. After hitting a second Hurricane, Flamethrower hits Altaria for the KO, earning us our final gym badge. Since we're in the endgame now, I decide to go around and collect some things that I might find handy later on, namely the TM for Outrage. I decide to go take on Ortega next. I was actually anticipating this battle to be pretty hard, especially after I ran the calcs on how much damage a Azumarill could actually do to me. Turns out I didn't really need the calculations. Ortega starts with the Azumarill, but we Terastallize right away and outspeed it, and Seed Bomb takes it out in 1 turn. I guess being 30 levels higher than it will do that to you. Wigglytuff is up next, who dies to a very quick Flamethrower. Darkspun comes out next and puts me in a predicament. It can't possibly die to Flamethrower, it has the ability Well-Baked Body. Well, it's too bad for it, I don't care about its 2 crunches that it uses, but it sure does care about my Hyper Voice that knocks it out in 2 turns. Last up is the Starmobile. It begins with Magical Torque, hitting for a pathetic 22 damage. Our Flamethrower does more than half in return, and I'm no longer concerned about this battle. Steel Roller does virtually nothing, and Flamethrower hits back for the kill. All in all, this ordeal took 7 minutes and 50 seconds to beat. I think it might have been the easiest challenge since Katie. I head out to Castle Royal Lake to take on the final Titan, Dondozo. I use the newly learned Outrage, which doesn't nearly do as much as I was hoping for, and Dondozo takes me out on the second turn. I realize after that Dondozo is not a dragon type, but is rather a pure water type, which is why it wasn't super effective. After I beat up some more eggs to gain 3 more levels, I head back to Dondozo for a rematch. This time I use Seed Bomb, which does about 80% damage. I take a high roll from Dondozo as it knocks me to 98 health, but I'm able to finish off stage 1 no problem. In stage 2, we're joined by Arven. I use Seed Bomb for 33%, Dondozo uses Water Pulse on me for 84 damage, and Greedent uses Tail Whip, which is actually one of the best moves it could have used. Our Seed Bomb takes him to the red, and Dondozo uses Body Slam on Greedent. Greedent uses Takedown, which finishes off Dondozo. The third stage of this battle is against Tatsugiri. Tatsugiri starts with Icy Wind to drop our speed, even though it was already the fastest one in the battle. A Seed Bomb hits for about 20%, and Greedent's Takedown does another 20%. Tatsugiri uses another Icy Wind, but our Outrage finishes the fish off. We head inside the cave, Arven makes the sandwich, his Masposive is all good again, plus now we can climb with Koraidon, meaning we have beaten all the Titans. defense. The last thing we have to do before the big 3 battles is to defeat Eri, the fighting type Team Star leader. We breeze through her base pretty quickly and approach her for the final battle. Eri starts the battle with the Toxicroak. The poison and fighting type frog starts with Poison Jab for a solid chunk of damage, and we return with Flamethrower for the kill. Passimian is up next, prompting me to Terastallize to deal the extra damage. I take the close combat from Passimian, which knocks me to 90 HP, but Flamethrower does pick up the kill. Annihilate is up next, which bodes a little bit of a problem. This Pokemon is incredibly strong. I max Potion up, hoping to be able to absorb whatever move it decides to use. It goes for close combat, dropping its defense and special defense. On its next turn, it uses close combat again, meaning its special defense is at -2. I feel pretty confident in my ability to take it down now, as I return with a boosted Flamethrower for the kill. Now I'm stuck with 30 HP and Lucario. I max Potion up again to see what it wants to do, and it uses Aura Sphere for 75 damage. Lucario uses it again, which knocks me down to 73 health. The next one is guaranteed to kill. Luckily, I am faster and Flamethrower kills. Finally, the Starmobile comes out. I go for one more max Potion to see what it wants to do, and it uses Shift Gear. This move raises its speed sharply, and it's attacked by 1 stage. My best course of action is to use Flamethrower again, as it goes for a second Shift Gear. My Flamethrower does 70%. I lock in Flamethrower, hoping for the best, and the Starmobile misses its high horsepower. Flamethrower connects, and Eri is defeated. After another ultimately useless cutscene that reveals nothing, Cassiopeia reveals her identity to us as the leader of Team Star and challenges us to a battle at Naranja Academy. We go and collect the TM for Crunch, a move I'm still confused as to why I didn't grab it before now, and head over to the Academy. Before we can go inside, we are stopped by Director Clavel, who reveals to us that he is the true leader of Team Star. This battle takes me forever to do. Let me just summarize it in one word: Quaquaval. The starter that we decided not to take is going to be the biggest obstacle we face up until now. I battled him 4 times and lost to Quaquaval each time, but on my 5th attempt, something happens. By this point, I've been trying to beat Clavel for more than an hour, to no avail. Frustrated, I turn to my last resort: X items. You see, Fuecoco doesn't learn any moves that can raise its stats. Believe me, I checked. So if Fuecoco can't beat an opponent naturally, the only solution is to get myself to a higher level. Unfortunately for me, I'm already maxed out on levels. But with the assistance of steroids, I can boost myself into the stratosphere. 3 X special attacks gives me a +6 special attack stat. Desperate for a win, I turn to these items that I've always disregarded. Clavel opens with Oranguru, as it has every time. Turn 1, I go for Crunch, instantly taking it out. Houndoom is up next, hitting us with Dark Pulse before I go for Dig, taking it out on the following turn. Poltegeist comes out, and I go for a full restore, while Poltegeist uses Shadow Ball for solid damage. It hits me again to knock me to the yellow, but I go for Crunch for the kill. Amoonguss comes out, and I full restore as Amoonguss goes for Hex. I return with Flamethrower on my next turn. Abomasnow comes out, and I realize this is my chance. I know that Abomasnow is about to use Aurora Veil, which essentially sets the screens as long as the snow is active. This is going to force me to stall out these turns if I have any chance of beating Quaquaval. I full restore once again as it goes for Aurora Veil. I then use an X speed as it goes for Blizzard for pathetic damage. I use an X defense so I can live an Aqua Step as it uses Blizzard again. I then use an X attack as it uses Blizzard a 3rd time. This is the last turn of Snow and Aurora Veil, so I use one more full restore and Abomasnow uses Blizzard one more time. The snow stops, and now the plan is in motion. I go for Flamethrower, now outspeeding Abomasnow, forcing out Quaquaval. Clavel terastallizes Quaquaval as it has every time, but it is too late as I go for a super fast, super boosted Seed Bomb, taking it out, claiming the battle for myself. After beating Clavel, he reveals that he is not the true leader of Team Star and just wanted to see if I was truly strong enough to beat Cassiopeia. Honestly, dude, you're the better trainer. I just kind of cheated myself to a win. You should be the one to do it. Instead of taking on Cassiopeia right away, I decide to fight Arven to finish that storyline. I figured Arven would be the easiest at this point. Arven lets us into the lab where Professor Sada requires our assistance and asks that we come to Area Zero to help her. Arven is in, but he wants to make sure that we are up to the task, so he challenges us to a battle where I guess he's going to use his recently sick, now cured dog in combat. This battle goes as expected. Terastallize, Flamethrower, Seed Bomb, Flamethrower, Flamethrower, Full Restore, Flamethrower, and Flamethrower. This battle is pretty easy when you have the power of God and anime on your side. We head up to Naranja Academy and head up to the roof, where the true leader of Team Star, Cassiopeia, is revealed to be Penny, the shy girl with the awesome Eevee backpack. I had planned for this battle, and I knew it was going to be tough solely because of her Vaporeon. It's a naturally bulky water type with Hydro Pump, which always hits for massive amounts of damage. In order to beat her in my current state, I would need her to miss Hydro Pump and have a damageless Umbreon right before. And I don't get it on my first try. I realized very quickly that this is a big problem for me. As a fire type, Vaporeon can absolutely destroy me. If I change to a grass type, Flareon can absolutely destroy me. I realize my only option is to truly go neutral. I spent about 3 hours running around collecting normal type Terra Shards to change Fuecoco's Terra type from fire to normal. Even though I then would lose my stab bonus on Flamethrower, it now goes for Hyper Voice, so I guess it could be worse. I head over to the Cafe Medalli to change my Terra type, and are you kidding me? I have wasted 3 hours grabbing Terra Shards when if I just come here right away, they would have given me exactly what I needed for free? I changed Fuecoco to normal type, go buy a Modest Mint and use it, collect the leftovers, and head back to Penny with a new strategy. With my new heightened special attack, a neutral Terra type, and God on my side, I am ready for this strategy to pay off. Unfortunately, this strategy also involves more X items. The calculations I've run show me that I'm slower than all of them. And all of them do about 50 to 60% or more with their stab moves. Even Protect and Leftovers won't save me from that. Thankfully, Penny does open with the worst of her Pokemon, Umbreon. Umbreon has great defenses and is overall a pretty good Pokemon, but its strongest move, Dark Pulse, is only going to do 20% or so to me each time. It is the weakest offensively, which means I can set up 3x speeds, 3x special defenses, and 3x special attacks, potion myself back up, Terrasilize into the normal type, and then sweep through her 6 evolutions with no real problem by using Hyper Voice. Umbreon, Vaporeon, Jolteon, Flareon, Glaceon, and Sylveon will all fall, meaning Team Star is defeated. The other members of Team Star arrive and say the cheesiest line in Pokemon history before Penny admits to committing a crime. And here is my biggest issue with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Instead of having Officer Jenny haul Penny down to the Slammer for theft, the government of Paldea is going to let this girl rewrite their digital encryption network for their banking system. All of the League points that Penny gives us are stolen from the Pokemon League, totaling 48,000 points in all. League points have a conversion rate of 1 League point to 1 Pokédollar, and if we assume for simplicity's sake that League points are the same as the Japanese yen, then she stole 48,000 yen. When we pop that into the handy Google currency conversion tool and put it to US dollars, we find that on April 7th, 2023, this equals $362.93. Put into other currencies, this is 332 euro, 292 British pounds sterling, or 545 Australian dollars. This is not an inconsequential amount of money. If I were to hack into the online banking system and steal $400 from Wells Fargo, I think they might be a little bit annoyed and not see it as an employment opportunity for me in their cybersecurity division. This is a criminal offense on Penny's part and should be treated as such. Anyways, the last thing we need to do is defeat the Elite Four, Champion, and Nimona. We head out to the northwest corner of Mesa Goza, ace our test, and just like that we are off and running. Our first opponent of the Elite Four is Rika. Rika is a ground type user, meaning our fire typing is just not a good idea. Rika starts with Whiscash. I Terrasilize right away and use Seed Bomb, securing a kill. I use Hyper Voice on her camera up for an instant kill. Donphan comes out and I use Hyper Voice again, activating Sturdy as it counters with Earthquake for about 70 damage. I go for Hyper Voice to finish it off. Dugtrio comes out, I use Protect to get back up to full while it goes for Sandstorm. It goes for Earthquake, doing pretty decent damage, but Dugtrio stinks and dies right away to Hyper Voice. Finally, Clodsire comes out. I Protect right away to regain some health from my leftovers, but all it really does is negate the Sandstorm. Then Rika goes for Protect. Then I use Hyper Voice, taking it down to 35% as it hits a Toxic. Sandstorm goes away, and Clodsire uses another Protect. Finally, the battle will end when I will land my next Hyper Voice. Our second opponent in the Elite Four is Poppy, who uses Steel types. If you're familiar with my favorite strategy in this game, you can probably expect this was pretty easy pickings. Copperaja, Flamethrower. Bronzong, Flamethrower. Corviknight, Flamethrower. Magnezone, Flamethrower into Sturdy, and then Flamethrower. Tinkaton, Terrasilize, Flamethrower, Stone Edge, Flamethrower. Everything is Flamethrower. Then comes Larry. His team the second time around is Flying type. He opens with Tropius, which goes down to Flamethrower on turn 1. Staraptor comes out and uses Brave Bird and then dies to, you guessed it, Flamethrower. Oricorio Pom Pom form comes out and uses Revelation Dance and then dies to Flamethrower. Altaria enters and suddenly I now have a problem. Flamethrower is no longer effective on Altaria. I use Protect to see what it wants to do and it goes for a Dragon Pulse. It uses Dragon Pulse again on the next turn, doing small chip damage as Hyper Voice counters for 70%. I Protect again to regain a little HP, and on the following turn absorb a Dragon Pulse before using another Hyper Voice for the KO. Finally, Flamigo comes out and Terrasilize into the Flying type, eliminating its Fighting type stab. I use Protect to see what it wants to try and do, and see that it is going to try and Brave Bird me. I go for a full restore to see just how much Brave Bird does, and see that it does just above half. With leftovers, I know I lived at that damage roll. It goes for Brave Bird again, taking more recoil, knocking me to 37 health, and a Flamethrower finishes it off for yet another victory. The final member is Hassel. The Dragon type specialist leads with Noivern and I Terastallize right away. Unfortunately, it starts by going for Super Fang, taking me immediately to exactly 50%. Hyper Voice does pick up the kill, bringing in Dragalge. I use Protect to try and regain some HP as it goes for Sludge Bomb. I use Hyper Voice again, outspeeding but just missing the kill. Sludge Bomb will connect and get the poison. I use a full restore to get rid of the poison and to heal back up, and Dragalge will go for another Sludge Bomb, not getting it this time. I Protect to get back more HP before finishing it off, since I know I outspeed. Hyper Voice finishes off the Dragalge, which brings in Flapple. I use Protect again to get more HP back as it tries to Dragon Rush. I use Hyper Voice, outspeed, and pick up that kill too. Haxorus comes out, which doesn't prove to be a big issue. It outspeeds and uses Dragon Claw for about 60 damage, but Hyper Voice takes it out in one shot. Finally, Baxcalibur comes out. I decide I want to Protect to check to make sure it's definitely using Glaive Rush, which is its strongest move. If it is, I'm about to take a ton of damage. Sure enough, it tries for a Glaive Rush. We go for a big Hyper Voice, but Baxcalibur does outspeed and hits a Glaive Rush, but luckily Hyper Voice picks up the kill, meaning we have cleared the Elite Four. We head upstairs to where Jita is waiting for us. It's time to become the champion ourselves. Espathra opens up with Lumina Crash, dropping our special defense 2 stages. Flamethrower takes it out in one hit, bringing out Avalon. This Pokemon is incredibly slow, so we outspeed with ease and Flamethrower takes it out. Kingambit arrives on the field and immediately dies to another Flamethrower. Veluza comes out, we Terastallize and go for the Hyper Voice, taking down the Killer Fish from San Diego. We're almost at full health when Go-Go comes in and he immediately dies to Flamethrower as well. So far I've only been hit once. Jita sends out her ace, Glamora. It Terastallizes into the pure rock type and hits a crazy strong Sludge Wave and absolutely tanks a Seed Bomb. I use a full restore to try and salvage it, but it goes for Earth Power, knocking me to about 50%. I Protect another turn and it goes for Terra Blast. I try to decide my luck with a Hyper Voice, but Sludge Wave finishes me off pretty quickly. In my second go, pretty much the same things happen. Lumina Crash, Special Defense drop, Flamethrower, kill. Flamethrower, kill. Flamethrower, kill. Terastallize, Protect, Hyper Voice, kill. But now, in Go-Goat's face, I'm going to go for an X Special Defense to put myself back to normal Special Defense as it uses Growth. I use an X attack while it goes for Horn Leech. I Protect and on the following turn, use Flamethrower for the kill. Finally, with Glamora Terastallizing, I go for Protect. This brings me to nearly full. Glamora uses Terra Blast Rock for 50%, and Seed Bomb seals the deal, meaning we are the champions of Paldea. Real talk though, Glamora's team is atrocious. I've come up with a way to fix it, so make sure you're subscribed so you do not miss it when I post that video. Fuecoco and I are officially crowned champions of the Paldea region, but we still have 2 tests in front of us. First, Nemona is going to challenge us to a battle to see who the better champion is. Unfortunately, my first attempt does not go how I want it to, with a Death to Dunsparce hitting me through Protect with Hyperdrill. I honestly forgot that Hyperdrill was built like that. I did the math and realized my current distribution was not going to win me this battle. Palma was using close combat and doing way too much damage. The best way I could think of to mitigate this was just to be faster. I decided that my attack is no longer really useful to me anymore because Hyper Voice and Flamethrower really do cover all my bases. So I need Kelpsy Berries to drop my attack back to 0 so I can rebuild our hero. Unfortunately, I don't have enough Kelpsy Berries to reduce my attack far enough that I can raise my speed far enough to outspeed Palma. I look online, find that I can find Kelpsy Berries at the Porto Marinata auction house if I'm lucky, so I head over there and win it on my first try. I then buy the 16 Carbos and the Timid Mint that I need to get myself high enough to outspeed Palmage. With my new and improved stats, I'm ready for round 2 with our rival. Nemona opens with Lycanroc. I Terastallize on the first turn and take a Drill Run from the Wolf as my Seed Bomb doesn't quite pick up the kill. I guess I forgot about all the work I just did. I decide to just do it again, taking a Stone Edge before picking up the kill with Seed Bomb. Palmot comes out and I should now outspeed, but I decide to Protect just to regain some HP. It goes for close combat as I expect on the Protect, but this one should not even get the chance to hit, and it does not, as Hyper Voice will grab the kill. Orthworm comes out next, which is a pretty easy pickup for our little boy subscribe smiley face. I decide to be petty. Even though Earthworm has Body Press, I decide to stack X items in his face. It's not about winning, it's about sending a message. You know why? Nemona has been in my face this whole game, and now she thinks this is the first match that actually counts now that I'm a champion. And you think I'm above cheating by using 2 X defenses, 3 special attacks, 1 special defense, and 1 speed before sweeping the rest of your team? You think I'm above that? I'm not. I'm petty. I'm doing a challenge. This was not prohibited in the rules. So you can take your Dunsparce and your Goodra and your Mouscarada and you can shove it, because I'm the one true champion of Paldea. I'm sorry. Victorious, we are ready to head into Area 0. But first we have some chores to do. First, I need to reset Fuecoco's EVs again. I need enough speed to get past Sandy Shocks, but I need enough HP to live when I get hit. So my new spread is somewhere in the realm of 208 EVs in speed, 42 in HP, and the realm in special attack with a modest nature. These are very rough EVs. I think I messed up somewhere along the way. I then spend about 3 hours collecting Fairy Terra Shards. I ran some calculations and found that a Terra Fairy with Disarming Voice actually puts in crazy amounts of work in Area 0. With that taken care of, we're free to move to Area 0, dive in, and proceed to the bottom of the crater. At the bottom, we enter into the laboratory, where the AI Sada tells us to destroy the time machine. But in order to do it, we need to defeat her programming. This is no problem for the GOAT. We enter into this battle with a moveset of Hyper Voice, Heat Wave, Disarming Voice, Protect, and Leftovers. Sada starts with Slitherwing. The bug fighting type goes down pretty easily to Heat Wave. Next comes Brute Bonnet, which also goes down very easily to Heat Wave. The one that I was mostly afraid of, Sandy Shocks, comes out next. Sandy Shocks provides me a real issue. It has the moves Flash Cannon and Earth Power. When I run my calculations, Earth Power does 87.5% on average to a normal Fuecoco, while Flash Cannon will do nearly negligible damage. However, that Earth Power is not sustainable. If I turn into Fairy type, I can lessen the damage from Earth Power to about 50%, but it simultaneously boosts Flash Cannon to about 50% as well. I decide that the 50% is better than taking the 88%. Heat Wave goes first and connects for 98% damage, which really annoys me, but I get a huge burn on Sandy Shocks. Sandy Shocks goes for Earth Power, not expecting the Fairy type to come out on this turn, and dies to its burn. Out comes Screamtail. This is my big break. The biggest roadblock here is Flutter Mane. Flamethrower is guaranteed to not kill, but Heat Wave has a very small chance. Not a great one, but one nonetheless. So if I can set up some X items, I can guarantee a victory. I go for Protect on the first to try and regain some HP. It goes for Play Rough like I expected, and I gain some health back. I go for an X special attack to boost my most important stat. Subscribe then dodges the Play Rough, meaning I got a free setup. I go for another X special attack, putting myself at +4 as it hits another Play Rough. I decide to hit Protect again, but this time it fails. I forgot that you actually had to click a move in between the last time you protected and the next time, and you can't just use an item to bypass that turn. That's a major L from me as Screamtail hits another Play Rough. At this point, I'm half health. I decide it's time to go on the offensive as Heat Wave connects for a knockout after another Play Rough. The big moment is here. Can I beat Flutter Mane? I decide to protect one turn to make sure I can live a Shadow Ball. As long as I have more than 50%, I'm guaranteed to win this interaction. I decide this isn't good enough for me. I use an X speed in front of Flutter Mane as it goes for Shadow Ball, taking me to the red. Now I know I go first, but I probably should have done that before it came out here. I use a full restore knowing its next Shadow Ball won't take me below half. Shadow Ball connects for about 40% damage, and Heat Wave does connect, taking out Flutter Mane. All that's left is one Pokemon, Roaring Moon, who activates Booster Energy, raising its attack. Too bad for it at +4, Disarming Voice does 485% to the Dark and Dragon type, taking it out. The final piece is winning with Koraidon, as Fuecoco's ball is locked by the Paradise Protection Protocol. After a few turns, we're able to Terastallize our Koraidon into a Dragon type with 2 Terra Blasts. Koraidon is victorious, meaning we have successfully beaten this challenge and saved the world. So how did I do? All in all, this challenge took me 24 hours and 55 minutes logged into the game, but that's not including all the resets. I think it's safe to say this was a little bit closer to 26 or 27 hours. But we answered the question. Can you beat Pokemon Scarlet and Violet with just Fuecoco? No! We needed a lot of help, like from like and subscribe to actually let us into the Team Star bases, to even right now with Koraidon actually having to do the last thing, and we did need a lot of X items to get it done late game. Could I have played better? Sure. Could I have given myself the normal Terra type a while ago to make these fights easier? Sure. Did I have fun playing Scarlet and Violet a second time with just this little crocodile? You bet. Who am I kidding? I hated this. Subscribe!